So, if you have a sweet tooth, you've probably discovered maple syrup. And if you're lucky enough, you've probably even discovered that pure maple syrup is amazing. But the problem we face is that maple syrup is a lot of money. It's very expensive per drop. But yet, our sweet tooth knows it's worth it. So, this video is about how to make the most of your money in terms of maple syrup and to get the best of your experience. So you wouldn't pour maple syrup into a sponge, would you? Right? Because the sponge is just going to absorb up that maple syrup and then it's gone. It's been sponged up. Right? Well, essentially, that's what happens when you pour your maple syrup into a pancake. Yeah. That pancake works like a sponge. And you know that if you try to be conservative and you pour a little maple syrup into your pancake, it just disappears and it's gone. You wasted it. So then you can't be conservative. You have to pour a lot of maple syrup until the whole sponge of a pancake is saturated in maple syrup. Now you're getting that flavor that you originally came for. So I'm not a big fan of putting the pure maple syrup into a pancake because I feel like we're just wasting our money there. Now, if you have some kind of special nostalgia, like you ate your pure maple syrup with your grandma or your great grandma or your grandpa, your great grandpa, or something like that, and there's some nostalgia involved, well, then those memories are worth it. Continue to do the traditional thing and put your maple syrup in the pancake. Have that experience. I don't want to take that away from you. But if you're looking for a better medium to deliver the maple syrup right to your mouth to get the taste drop for drop, your money's worth, then I would like to introduce you to the bagel. So, the reason the bagel is superior is because of its skin. The skin on the outside of the bagel is able to hold all the maple syrup that is put into it. So it doesn't escape back out onto the plate. The bagel contains it. Now, I'm going to be demonstrating with the lower end, cheaper bagels that we see in the market. You know, the ones that come in a grocery store in the bag and everything like that. And it's nothing special. This is a nothing special bagel. But we do want to be smart about it. And we're going to use a little bit of butter because the butter puts a little bit of lipids, and the lipids actually help the maple syrup to flow, you know, like it did back when it was in the tree that it came from. It was flowing in that tree, and so we want our maple syrup to flow, and the lipids help the maple syrup flow. Now, as you can see, this is even the least ideal bagel because it doesn't have a lot of holes in it. The more holes and cavities in your bagel, the more that maple syrup is just going to collect right into the bagel and be held well. Now, could you pick up a pancake and eat it? Yes, you could. But your hands would get all covered in the maple syrup. The pancake's likely to fall apart. It wasn't like made for picking up. So the other advantage to putting the maple syrup into the bagel is that you can just pick it up and deliver it right to your mouth, right? You could do this while driving, essentially. And not that I want to recommend it, but I'll just point it out as something that could be done. So, I've got some butter here on this bagel, and our bagel is looking good. Now, if you are lucky enough to live somewhere where you have access to real bagels, bagels that are big and have those big cavities and holes, then you'll really find this to be worth your time doing the maple syrup on the bagel, right? So now I'm gonna actually open this up, and I'm gonna be very careful about this here, and be very conservative. Oh, yeah. So it's a little runny because it's pure. I got a little bit on the plate, but I think that's gonna be okay. Okay. Now again, because this is not an ideal bagel, it doesn't absorb as well as a real bagel would. This is cheap, but it's still doing its thing. You can see there are still some holes in the bagel, and the syrup is flowing in there. But notice that as it flows in, it's only dripping because it's dripping off the top, and it is flowing in there. And so before I bite this, I could just bite right into it, but I'm actually going to kind of rip it open a little bit so you can see like what's happening there, right? So that maple syrup, because I put so much little in, that like it's not even saturated all the way through, right? So, but yet I'm gonna be able to taste every drop of this maple syrup, because it's something about the doughy bread of the bagel that leaves the maple syrup exposed to your taste buds. And so you're really tasting the maple syrup drop for drop, getting the most for your money. So here we go. Yep. Now, like with the pancake, we're gonna go back to the plate and make sure we get every drop. If the bagel disappears, you lick the plate. No hesitation. Bad idea. Good idea. Now, saving money with the maple syrup, getting the most of your experience, can be a nighttime thing too. Now, when I like to go out and party with my friends, I like to drive, right? So I'm the designated driver, but I also like to fit in. So what I might do is I might take a bottle of what looks like, whiskey, and dump the whiskey out and refill it with pure maple syrup. And so then I bring my maple syrup whiskey bottle to the bar. So then, if they give you a look when you come in, like, hey, you're bringing your own whiskey, just give them that nod and that nice country smile, like, like, and then they'll accept you as a country folk. If they're still giving you trouble because they're not familiar with country folk, then you explain to them that you're allergic to most kinds of whiskey and that you brought your own. So then once your whiskey is in the bar, you can continue to party and have shots with your friends, but you're essentially going to be taking shots of the maple syrup. And again, this is just putting pure maple syrup straight to the palate, straight to the taste buds, um, which you're really going to enjoy. And, well, let's try it. Wow, that was a powerful shot. And now my experience of this is it's kicking in, and I'm feeling the joy much quicker than I would if I had taken a shot of alcohol. You know, this is just like the way sweets work, the way the palate works. I'm just getting hit by the pleasure and joy of pure maple syrup right to my brain, right to my heart, right as I take that shot. I'm ready to stick my tongue in this glass and lick out the last couple drops. I'm not going to do that in this video. Then I'm happy, I'm having fun, and I'm essentially saving money too, because once you get to that, like, that bar scene, like say you're downtown at the bar, a shot of maple syrup, pure, is going to actually go down cheaper than a shot of whiskey or vodka or what have you at the bar, just because you know it's overpriced. So, um, you know, the goal here is to save money and to enjoy your maple syrup.